It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid!
No fear, no fear, no fear. Here on Declare Your Independence. We haven't got, SWAT teams yet. We got James Traficant in, and we're going to get the third rail Israel. You know, how do you get on top of the heap? How do you get on the list? How's the first thing that the big bad guys want to do? Shit you up. Well, you know what? I got to explain it to Jim here. He's not internet savvy, man. He's like, no. They didn't have a lot of access in prison now, did they?
No, not really.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get Sierra to turn on the mic. There you go. Push the button. She's off getting the speech, putting it onto today's archive. James Traficant's U.S. bankruptcy speech in March of 1993. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and, before we get to that, which I want to get to, is I want to understand the second hour here, we have a base philosophy. My thing here is real simple. Everything that I operate from is I put my hand on your shoulder and I say, whose life is this? And your response is what?
It's my life.
Okay. Well, if it's your life, then I don't want anybody else telling me what to do with it.
That's the age-old argument, Ernie, and it comes down to this, the right of the individual and the right of society to protect the individual from harm. And it's been a hell of a battle.
Whoa, where'd that right come from?
Wait a minute now. That is the battle, whether or not we want to admit that, that's what it is. See, society says, look, you have your individual rights, but we have the right also to protect the individual from harm and others from harm from you. And it has been the collective process since time began, Ernie.
All right.
So I don't want to get into that.
No,
I am for personal freedoms.
No, you said it.
But I think what we're all arguing about are these fringe points, and America is enslaved with a tax system that has destroyed us. And that's what I want to get to.
Okay.
America, let me say this before you get to your program. Here's the Traficant prediction. America will implode like the Soviet Union if we do not throw out the Internal Revenue Service and start rewarding labor and incentivize the workplace. And I'll get to that project and how we do that later. But I'm saying this, we are going to disintegrate like the Soviet Union did. All their missiles, all their KGB couldn't stop Humpty Dumpty from falling apart over there, and we're going to see it over here, Ernie.
Okay.
We're beginning to see the symptoms.
We're
seeing the
on
symptoms.
This. All right,
well,
Jim,
don't
let me
overlap.
go.
I'm getting worked up.
That's good. We'll get to it. Because this is the one thing that I want to be able to predict what someone would do in the future. You can look at what they've done in the past, and you can ask why and what revelations they've had, epiphanies. I learned something different. I spent some time in prison, which they are like torturing you, man. They put you in a little room.
They didn't put me in no
country
country club, man.
They want you to suffer.
Listen, the first prison I was put in had over 50% of illegal immigrants. And one guy pulled me aside and he said, man, my mother's your biggest fan. We can't even do nothing with you. Everything's coming out of Washington. They want you to be hurt. They want you in a penitentiary. Next thing you know, I'm in a hole for about 6-7 months. Then I go to Lewisburg Penitentiary. I'm in the hole there. Then I'm at Raybrook Gladiator School. And you know what, Ernie? Everybody thought I was a murderer. They said, what are you in here for? I'm in here for murder. It was dangerous. See, they let those illegal immigrants know that I'm the congressman that passed putting troops on the border. And I have nothing against the Hispanic community. If you're a citizen, you're one of us. If you're in the country illegally, you should be thrown the hell out, and we should be on the border with our troops. It's a national security checkpoint. So I'm here. I'll tell you what. I want to commend Arizona. I want to commend men like you who stand up for Arizona and for those states.
Oh, no.
They're doing what they have to do.
I'm not a border guy, man.
Well, do what you got to do.
I'm not a border
Straighten
guy.
out here.
I'm a human guy. So that's why I want to get into this. Because Jim has a principle by which he operates from. I'm just trying to find out what that is, so in the future that we know what we can expect. You are for America.
I'm absolutely for America first.
Which is what, though?
Take care of our country, stay out of foreign entanglements like Washington advised us, and incentivize our place so we reward behavior. Right now, we don't. We're enslaving a massive society here in this country.
All right, we got about 4 minutes in this segment. Let's go ahead and start with this.
Man,
now,
your time goes fast.
Yeah, I told you you'd have
All
fun,
right,
man.
go ahead. Get on with it.
Now, this is the deal. If I got a way to predict what the future America is going to be, I can look at a couple of things. One, like you say, what's rewarded and what's punished. We're rewarding sloth and inactivity and dependency and ailment and all this other stuff.
We're subsidizing it.
Oh, absolutely. Get more of it. You have, and you even mentioned, fatherless homes,
illegitimacy.
So then I'm going, okay, so what are we punishing? We punish productivity. We punish prosperity. We punish innovation. We punish
hard
investment.
work.
We
Harder you
punish
work, the more you get hit on the head.
Exactly. So now from someone that a lot of people would consider, well, certainly ran as a Democrat, a little bit more progressive. You want to say, government to do right by the people.
I'm probably more of
a
a Republican than most Republicans were, quite frankly.
Hell, I can't tell what a Republican is.
Let me tell you, there's not much difference. They all posture, but there's not much difference. No,
they all want to rule me. They're the same as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And, and that's where I want to get to is how much does Jim Traficant want to rule me?
I don't want to rule anybody, but I will tell you this. I want to get the government off our backs and off our ass. And the way you do that is you have a government that literally does come at us. We have an Internal Revenue Service that knows everything we do. There's no personal freedom at all. We have a voluntary compliance program that's so voluntary they'll seize your rubber ducky. Here's what I think has to be done in America. Very first thing. And when I say prediction, I don't have a magic crystal ball here, Ernie. I think Stevie Wonder can see this coming. We are developing armies on the street. Young men who are dependents, dependent after dependent after dependent life cycles. We've got kids being born in big cities without education, on the street, trying to make a living, doing everything they can, angry. Is going to manifest itself in the catastrophe. But 53% of the eligible taxpayers pay an income tax. 47% are consumers. We become a welfare dependency socialist nation. There's no sense to it. We do not reward work. We must reward work and individual achievement, and we don't do that.
No, I understand, but I mean, it's so obvious. Was it done on purpose?
Well, I think so. I think it was done on purpose. Remember, the first income tax, Ernie, was only for the rich. Right. Now Congress is talking about more taxes increases, but only for the rich. Now you believe that? We've got all kind of rainwater out here in Phoenix.
We're just going to tax the top 1%. It's only going to be people that get some kind of government check. It's going to be. It's always.
Let's talk about that, Ernie. Just let me make this statement. One of the speeches that was featured around America more than anybody else's during that one budget debate was my speech when I said, "Wait a minute, Democrats. Now we're going to jump on the rich." My father was a truck driver, and here's what I said, Ernie. My father told me, "Jimmy, I never worked for a poor guy." And I said, "You keep jacking these guys around, they're not only going to take their jobs and factories out of the country, they're going to take their money. We should be incentivizing them to stay and reinvest their money. The reason they're leaving is because they're not patriots, Ernie. They can't make a profit here."
No, I understand
They can't make a profit. Our system got to be changed,
It's
Ernie.
so obvious. Is it done on purpose?
No, I just think they're so damn dumb they could throw themselves at the ground and miss, and you can't get enough of them to think about it, and you can't get enough Americans to come together on one core issue. The core issue should be our individual liberty, freedom, and that freedom should be to decide what we do with our money, and we should be rewarded for work, not penalized, Ernie. Very simple. Very simple.
Yep.
Out with those suckers.
Yeah, we agree on that. We'll be right back.
And another thing,